On September 11, 2025, ICE launched Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago, a focused crackdown on criminal illegal immigrants. This operation was meticulously planned and executed with precision. This wasn't a random sweep, but a targeted effort to arrest individuals with serious criminal records. Each suspect was identified through a rigorous vetting process. The operation's name signaled decisive action, even in sanctuary cities like Chicago. It was a bold statement of federal authority. ICE aimed to apprehend those with convictions or charges for crimes such as rape, armed robbery, and severe domestic abuse. These were not minor offenses. Chicago's sanctuary policies, which limit cooperation with federal immigration agents, were a direct catalyst for the operation. These policies created a complex legal landscape. ICE argued these policies allowed dangerous criminals to be released back into the community, despite federal detainers. This posed a significant risk to public safety. Federal agents surged into Chicago, working with the Department of Justice to track and arrest these individuals. The collaboration was intense and highly coordinated. The arrests, made over several days, were the result of detailed investigations into criminal and immigration histories. Each arrest was backed by substantial evidence. The federal message was clear: if local authorities won't help remove dangerous criminals, the federal government will act to protect public safety. This operation underscored the federal commitment to law and order. Chicago's sanctuary city status strictly limits cooperation with ICE, even when federal agents formally request to detain criminal aliens. This policy led ICE to focus its resources on Chicago, arguing that it shields dangerous offenders from deportation and undermines federal law. Federal officials criticized the city for releasing individuals with serious criminal records, calling it a significant public safety risk. The Trump administration used Operation Midway Blitz to send a warning to other sanctuary cities: federal law will be enforced regardless of local resistance or opposition. Supporters of sanctuary policies say they build trust with immigrant communities, but critics argue that public safety should always come first. DHS released a series of details and mugshots of those recently arrested, aiming to provide the public with a clearer picture of the individuals involved in these serious crimes. By sharing this information, officials hope to highlight the severity of the threat these individuals pose to public safety, and to emphasize the importance of law enforcement efforts. The list of those arrested included people from Mexico, Guatemala, India, and Kyrgyzstan, each with a history of serious criminal backgrounds that raised significant concerns for authorities. The cases ranged from aggravated sexual assault of minors to armed robbery, strong-arm rape, and domestic violence, showing a disturbing pattern of violent and dangerous behavior. For example, Carlos Roman Barrera was arrested for the aggravated sexual assault of a child, a crime that shocked the local community and drew widespread condemnation. Bernardino Perez Arriviaga, a registered sex offender, had prior convictions for assault and battery, making him a repeat offender with a troubling record. Other arrests included individuals facing pending charges for hit-and-run incidents and weapons offenses, further illustrating the range of crimes involved in these cases. DHS used these high-profile cases to argue that sanctuary policies can allow repeat offenders to remain in communities, potentially putting more people at risk. Ultimately, the goal was to shift the debate away from abstract policy discussions and toward the real-world consequences of releasing dangerous individuals back into neighborhoods, urging a closer look at the impact on public safety. Operation Midway Blitz was named in honor of Katie Abraham, killed in Illinois by a drunk-driving illegal immigrant. Her story became the emotional centerpiece, illustrating the potential cost of sanctuary policies. Federal officials framed the operation as a mission to prevent future tragedies like Katie's. Supporters argue that those who commit violent crimes forfeit the right to remain in the country. Katie's case became a symbol of what can happen when criminal aliens aren't removed. Naming the operation after her was a strategic move to rally public support and underscore the stakes. The sanctuary city debate is deeply divisive, and Operation Midway Blitz has only intensified the spotlight on Chicago. The city now finds itself at the center of a national conversation, with passionate voices on both sides. Supporters of sanctuary policies argue these measures help police build trust with immigrant communities, allowing officers to focus on local crime rather than federal immigration enforcement. They believe this approach makes neighborhoods safer and encourages cooperation with law enforcement. Critics, however, claim these policies endanger communities by releasing dangerous criminals back onto the streets. They point to those arrested in the recent operation as evidence that sanctuary policies can have unintended consequences for public safety. In response, DHS has promised even more enforcement actions in Chicago, undeterred by local resistance and determined to uphold federal law. The standoff between federal authorities and sanctuary cities is set to escalate, with both sides refusing to back down and tensions rising in city halls and neighborhoods alike. Meanwhile, residents are caught in the middle, navigating uncertainty and fear as they weigh competing visions of public safety and law enforcement's role in their daily lives. As the federal surge continues, the nation watches closely, waiting to see how this ongoing struggle over immigration and community safety will shape the future of Chicago and cities across America.